Hi, I'm Chrissy. Welcome to Ask the Hummingbird, your hideaway for calm, clarity, and some honest advice on everyday issues and problems. Let's have a look at what today's question is. Dear Hummingbird, my life feels so boring and mundane. How do I start enjoying things again? This is something I actually have been chatting to a couple of my friends about, because from time to time we all feel that life just gets a bit boring and a bit mundane and a bit meh day to day because of the constant nature of like the repetitive tasks that we're always doing. And although we obviously enjoy parts of our lives and we enjoy being a parent and we enjoy the work that we do or exercise classes we go to, etc., etc., it can all just feel a bit mundane from time to time, a bit too kind of normal and regular, not exciting and repetitive, I think. So I guess my thoughts on this is that actually that is life, kind of a bit of a reality check in that we aren't running from excitement to excitement and doing really fun, high octane things the whole time. And actually, thank goodness for that, because how exhausted would we be if that was what our life was like? So a bit of a reality check to be like, you know what? The mundane, the routine is really normal and actually really nice, and it's kind of enjoying some of that as well, because we need a little bit of light and dark to be able to see and enjoy the differences. So if our lives were very exciting all the time, then we wouldn't really find the joy anymore, because that would be the new normal. Whereas actually, if we do have some parts of our lives that are a little bit boring and a little bit routine and day to day, when we do go on that holiday or go out for the day somewhere or experience an amazing piece of music or anything that really brings you joy, you can feel it so much more intensely, because you can see the excitement from that, because of the day-to-day is regular and routine. So I think once we accept that actually mundane and routine is okay, then we can move forward to understand, well, actually, how can I improve that day-to-day, that regular routine? And understanding as well why we're feeling like that. And we feel like that because life is busy and life is stressful and life is full, especially when you're a parent and or you've got full-time work. You might have other caring responsibilities. There's just generally a lot going on in life. And when we're very task focused in that way, pleasure seems to drop to the bottom of the pile. So it's kind of understanding, how can we bring pleasure back up the priority list when we're living in such a task focused day-to-day routine? And I know what works for me, and I've had to really put this into my sort of weekly routine, is having something in the diary. So finding something that brings you pleasure, that brings you joy, that you can look forward to, whether it's on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis, but on a regular basis, I would say, and get it in the diary and don't let it move. And this is why it's quite nice if it's something that's outside of the house, outside of the day-to-day. It's something different, it's something for you. It's not that we go with, or maybe the whole family, or it's something that's for you and that it's not going to move unless absolute disaster happens. It's something that you prioritize on a regular basis, and that might be an art class, it might be meeting up with your friends, it might be so for me, for example, I wanted to do something that was completely out of my comfort zone for a start, and also that was completely different to anything I've ever done. I really like learning as part of something that brings me pleasure as well. So a couple of months ago, I joined a rock choir, I have never sung in my life. I've never been a part of a choir in my life. But actually, I was really excited by being a part of something completely outside of my day-to-day, meeting people that I don't know, that don't currently mix within my circle of friends or within my work. And it's been just something that brings me so much joy. It's on a weekly basis. I leave the house, I'm out of the house for an hour and a half doing something that's so far from my day-to-day routine that it is a real breath of fresh air. And it doesn't matter that I'm probably not a very good singer, and it doesn't really matter that I probably forget the words quite a lot. It's just the process and the act of having something in the diary, having that anticipation for something, experiencing it and it bringing me joy in the moment, and it being a priority as well. So I would encourage you to think about, what could you go and do that's just for you, that you can look forward to, that is a priority, that's not going to come out of the diary, that brings you joy, and it's just for fun. It can just be a bit of fun every week, and I think you'd find it really sort of changes up that feeling of the mundane, the day-to-day, a kind of relentless nature of the tasks that are always on the list. If that's not really possible for you right now, or you're not really sure what that looks like, you could kind of do it in really little ways, so kind of novelties, if you like. So could you cook something different that you've not had before, or even order a different takeaway that you've not had before, watching something different on TV, reading a different style of book, or trying a different craft, or just trying things that are a little bit of a novelty, or having a little different routine that you could do, say on a Friday night or a Saturday night, mixing life up a little bit and just throwing something different in there so that it doesn't feel so routine and so mundane. It sounds really small, but it's kind of finding those little pleasures. I kind of like to call them like micro joys in the day, and by kind of mixing things up, you can suddenly think, oh, really looking forward to dinner tonight. I've not had this kind of food before, I've not cooked it before, I'm kind of looking forward to cooking it. Finding those little things, and also finding the little things in the day-to-day. Something that I find I kind of purposely slow down and find pleasure from, and it sounds really ridiculous, but for breakfast every morning I have grapefruit, and that is my little moment of kind of just slowing down and starting the day. So it's a very mindful practice for me, and what I mean by that is that I take time and care and focus in on that grapefruit, and it's kind of become a bit of a thing for me now that I know every morning when I pick the grapefruit up, I'm like, right, I'm just going to take a moment and I focus on how I cut it. Obviously, segmenting a grapefruit takes a bit of time. I smell the grapefruit and I eat that zestiness and see the juice, and all I do for that 30 seconds to a minute is focus on that, and that's how I like to start my day. And I just get a bit of pleasure from that, rather than being like, right, throw some cereal in a bowl, dash, make a cup of tea, what else should, because all that happens as well. If I can just take that 30 seconds to a minute to breathe, focus, find a little bit of joy in something as simple as cutting a grapefruit, and those little micro joys throughout the day. For me, another one is my coffee. Around 10, 11 o'clock, I like to have a really nice coffee, and I take my time in how I make it, and then I sit and I don't have any other distractions, so I'll put my phone down. I won't be trying to do any other jobs or think of any other things for that 10-15 minutes that it takes me to drink that coffee. Another thing I find a lot of pleasure from is walking the dog. So it used to be a kind of bit of a chore for me. Right, come on, I've got to get out and walk the dog. Actually now, again, I have a really mindful walk, and this helps me kind of to reduce that stress and reduce that busyness, which then in turn feeds into this life is mundane, life is boring, life is kind of this treadmill. I have a mindful walk. And what that means is that I just notice. It's a bit like cutting up the grapefruit and noticing. I notice how my feet feel within my trainers walking on the ground. I notice the wind that's blowing on my skin and how it's kind of moving my hair. I notice the smells on the walk, the colours of the leaves changing in autumn, the rustling of the leaves on the ground, the sound of my dog's claws hitting the pavement, cars moving past. You will be astounded how much you notice if you actually start tuning into it. And what that does is it just brings that stress level down, brings down all of those busy thoughts that are racing around your head, and gives you a moment to just pull back, to just breathe, to just be. And we spend so much time as human doings that we forget that we're human beings, and sometimes we just want to be. And for me, a dog walk now is my time to be, and it's only something I've started doing in the last couple of weeks, and I don't always do it. Like today I went out on a dog walk and I listened to a podcast, and that, again, I was looking forward to it. It was my little micro pleasure that I was like, oh, when I go on my dog walk, I'm going to go on a long one today, I'm going to listen to a podcast and really kind of enjoy it, and that's going to be something for me. So I don't always do it, but when I do, I come back, I feel calmer, I feel more relaxed, less stressed, I feel more able to then see the pleasures in other things as well, and have that kind of gratitude for, oh, I'm really glad I got out to go on that walk because the sun was shining and it felt lovely on my skin, whereas ordinarily I might not have noticed those things. So I think when we're feeling life is mundane and boring, the reality is there is still so much joy to be had, and pleasure, and those micro joys that are hidden all around your day. And it's trying to step back from that busyness, from that stress, and notice and be grateful for the fact that there are lots of things around us that we can get pleasure from. I think it's really important to remove yourself from the day-to-day as well. So get that thing in the diary, or multiple things, or just mix things up a little bit in terms of where you can get pleasure from, and find things that are enjoyable to you, that take you out of that day-to-day. Whether that's something in the diary once a week that means you leave the house, or it's those novelties that you can kind of put into your life as little kind of micro joys as well. So I would encourage you to think about something that you found joy in today, ideally, or this week. Notice things as you go throughout your week that you might not have noticed before. Try to start that kind of practice of gratitude, because that really helps in finding those little micro joys. Whether it's, I have a really comfortable bed and I'm really grateful when I get into bed that I can sleep really well because I've got this really warm, comfortable bed. Just small things like that really start to shift things in your mind around, actually, there is a lot of pleasure to be had in life despite the mundane. And accept, actually, life can be quite regular and mundane and boring. But thank goodness for that, because if it was busy and high octane and high stress, we wouldn't be enjoying that either. So thank goodness for the routine, but let's inject a bit of fun and let's see the fun that's already there. So hopefully that's helped reframe and think about things in a slightly different way. If you're feeling that your life is a little bit regular, mundane and a bit boring, seek out that joy. See where you can find it in your day-to-day life, and add a little bit of novelty in as well. Thanks for listening. If you've liked this, then please share, like, subscribe, and I will see you next time on Ask the Hummingbird.